live from my living room, where my 2-year-old son has just left a pile of toys on the floor. I'm currently investigating how these toys are meant to mysteriously pack themselves away.
If you've ever felt lost and confused by the vocabulary used in news media, then you'll be happy to know that in today's lesson, you'll learn 50 useful words and phrases that will help you so you can understand the news without any problems. If you've ever felt like this, you're not alone. One of the reasons people find news media confusing is because it often contains a lot of jargon, which means special words or expressions used by people in a particular profession that might be difficult for others to understand. Another example of this is when medical professionals use words like acute illness or comorbidity, which we don't use in our daily lives, but it's useful to understand. So our lesson today aims to 1. Help you understand 50 of the most common vocabulary terms used in various types of news media, as well as some alternative phrases, and 2. Build your confidence so you feel more comfortable using these words in conversations. But before we get started with our list, if you are new here and frustrated with boring methods of learning English that just don't seem to work, you've come to the right place. Each week, we create lessons like this to help learners like you get comfortable using English naturally with confidence, anywhere and anytime. If you'd like to be part of our global community, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell down below so that you never miss out on any of our new lessons. Let's start our quickfire list with 21 words that are common across different types of media. 1. Allegedly. You'll often hear this word used in news about crime. We say allegedly when we do not have proof that something happened or that someone is guilty of doing it.
The Justice Department revealing a Texas man has now been charged for allegedly making death threats against elections officials in Georgia.
2. Sensationalism. Sensationalism describes when the media exaggerates details in a news story to attract viewers.
Project ever lead to the end of the world.
An enormous earthquake or a massive volcano eruption or asteroids smashing into the earth. Will that happen?
3. Breaking news. The word breaking in this situation means something that has just happened or just started happening. So breaking news refers to an unexpected story that has just happened. This type of news is usually quite serious or exciting.
Breaking local news, the accident that could affect your morning commute.
Number 4, bias. Have you ever seen someone make a judgment before all the facts were in? They may have been biased. When something is biased, it's unbalanced and favors one side more than the other. So when a news report is biased, it makes one side of the story seem more important.
Biased platforms pushing out fake news that endangered our democracy.
Number 5, Bulletin. A bulletin is a short news program on television or radio or a short newspaper printed by an organization.
We interrupt this program for a special news bulletin.
Number 6, off the record. You might have heard this one in movies. When something is said off the record, it means that the reporter can't consider it as official or publish it with the speaker's name attached to it. Example, the politician thought the conversation was off the record when he spoke to a reporter at a dinner party. Number 7, reporter. Reporters are a specific type of journalist who research, write, and relay the story to the public.
A shocking moment on live TV this week when a reporter in West Virginia was hit by a car. It's a moment you have to see to believe.
Number 8, angle. This refers to the focus or approach the journalist took when telling the story. For example, the angle of the news story was focused on how the criminal had turned his life around and started helping others. Number 9, source. A source is where a news story comes from. For example, a source could be an official report, a tweet, or a person.
Reporting now that according to our source familiar with the situation, Michael Cohen.
Number 10, first-hand. First-hand information or experience is gained directly rather than from other people. Similarly, second-hand information or experience is written by someone with knowledge of an event or topic, but who did not experience it.
Getting a first-hand look at the damage done when Hurricane Dorian made landfall in the Tar Heel state.
Number 11, an exclusive. Also known as a scoop, an exclusive is an important and original story a reporter has obtained before others could do so, which is likely to interest or concern many people.
And welcome to our exclusive interview with Bill Gates, the entrepreneur, Microsoft co-founder, software developer.
Number 12, a feature. This refers to a story that emphasizes the human or entertaining aspects of a situation instead of only the serious facts. For example, the magazine published a beautiful feature story on a homeless man who helped stray dogs. Number 13, a puff piece. This is a story that praises someone or something too much and ignores the negative information about them.
Okay, what do you think about this puff piece? They seem to be enamored with Hillary.
Number 14, news or press conference. A press conference is a media event where reporters are together in one place and gather information about someone in the news, usually taking turns to ask questions. 15, correspondent. A correspondent is a journalist who reports from the location of news events. For example, a sports correspondent will report from sporting events, while a White House correspondent will report from the White House. Being able to use the vocabulary you learn is so important, but in your day-to-day life, you have few, if any, real opportunities to use what you're learning by speaking. So we decided to solve this problem by creating our real-life app. At just the touch of a button, you can start practicing your English instantly with other English speakers from all around the world. You can have fascinating conversations about your life, your passions, different cultures, or even just about the news if you want. This will take you from feeling like a lost and insecure English learner to being a confident and natural English speaker. And that's not all. You can also listen to our podcast and get a free transcript and all the vocabulary definitions. So download it now for free by clicking up here or the link down in the description below, or you can simply visit the Google Play or the Apple App Store and search Real Life English. 16, speculation. A more common synonym for speculation is to guess. So when we talk about speculation, we mean the activity of guessing possible answers to a question without having enough information to be certain.
But you gotta stop there. You can't build speculation unless there's somebody on the record saying something.
17, agenda. The news agenda is when the journalist or organization determines which stories are considered important.
White House briefing to detail the Biden administration's ambitious climate agenda.
18, statement. When the news refers to someone's statement, it means their official account of facts, views, or plans concerning a particular issue. For example, the Prime Minister made a statement to the House of Commons on Thursday. 19, human interest. This refers to a news story that focuses on a personality or individual's story with wide appeal to a general audience. Example, the magazine did an excellent human interest story on how the soccer player went from living on the streets to fame and fortune. 20, eyewitness. Remember earlier when we spoke about first-hand experiences? Well, an eyewitness is a person who has seen something happen and can give a first-hand description of it. Example, the woman was the only eyewitness to the crime. 21, public opinion. The general opinion of the majority of people, especially as a force in determining social and political action.
With me now is Anand Menon, the director of the think tank, the UK in a Changing Europe, who have come up with this Brexit and Public Opinion 2019. Very good to see you.
22, credible. We use the word credible to refer to something that is believable and trustworthy.
While there is often a kernel of truth in rumours about North Korea, we need to wait for credible sourcing on any reports about his state of health.
23, libel. It's important to differentiate libel and slander as they are often mistaken. Libel is to write and publish something that contains bad and false information about a person. 24. Slander. While slander is a false spoken statement about someone that damages their reputation. 25. Mainstream. We say that something is mainstream when it's very common, accepted, and established in society. Example, most people get their news from the mainstream media such as BBC, CNN, or Al Jazeera. Now, let's look at words specifically related to broadcast news such as radio and television. Let's start with the word live. When something is live, it is happening at that moment as opposed to being pre-recorded.
The BBC has today become the first British broadcaster to go live using a commercial 5G connection.
Seg. In broadcast media, a seg is a smooth transition from one scene or topic to another. Glitch. A glitch is any distortion or technical distraction in video or audio. Tease is a short description of an upcoming story designed to keep the viewer watching.
Channel 4's Terry Belger is here to show us exactly why. I think we got a little hint of that in the tease, but wow.
You can talk about this guy.
Feed. A satellite or microwave transmission of live or recorded material. This just in. This is a phrase used by news anchors when they've just received an important piece of information while broadcasting live.
This just in, breaking news is breaking out everywhere. Faith Saley has the very, very latest.
On air. If someone is on the air, they are broadcasting on radio or television. Okay, let's move on to print and online media vocabulary. Tabloid. Tabloids are a smaller form of newspaper and present the news in a way that exaggerates crime stories and celebrity gossip. Hardcopy. A hard copy of a document is a printed version of it, rather than a version that is stored on a computer. Example, I prefer to read a hard copy of the newspaper instead of reading it online. Caption. A caption is the words printed underneath a picture that explain what it is about. Circulation. A number of copies of a newspaper that are sold each day or each week. Before you continue watching, why not pause the video and let us know, do you enjoy learning English with news? Share in the comments below and don't forget to add an encouraging message to the other members of the community. Hot off the press. This one's a bit outdated because when people received newspapers that were hot off the printing press, it showed that the news was still very recent. These days, we still use this line to show that the information is current. Soft copy. This refers to the digital document file or electronic version of a document that is not printed on paper, such as online news or ebooks. Geotag. A piece of electronic data that shows where someone or something is and can, for example, be attached to a photograph or comment on social media. Clickbait. Clickbait refers to articles, photographs, etc. on the internet that are intended to attract attention and encourage people to click on links to particular websites. And finally, here we have 10 overly complicated phrases commonly used in the news, and their much simpler alternatives. Fled on foot. This simply means to run away. Fled is the past tense to the verb to flee or to run away.
We do know the suspect did flee on foot after crashing into a power pole.
Physical altercation. This means to fight. Physical refers to our bodies and altercation means a loud argument of disagreement.
A Los Angeles Police Department source has confirmed that Kanye West is a named suspect in a battery report from an alleged physical altercation that occurred in downtown LA on Thursday morning.
Reduce expenditures. Basically, this means cutting costs. Expenditures literally means an amount of money spent. Fatally injured. When we see the word fatal, we know that someone died or was killed, so someone who is fatally injured has died. Controlled substances are generally drugs whose manufacture and use is regulated by a government. Arrived at a decision. When someone arrived at a decision, it means they decided something. At this point in time, these 5 words can be summed up in one word: now. Incendiary advice. The word incendiary means explosive, so this phrase basically refers to a bomb.
Have you heard anything about this latest incident anymore and what this incendiary device was?
Discharged the weapon. This means that someone shot or fired a weapon. Lower extremities or limbs. Our lower limbs or extremity refers to the part of the body from the hip down to the toes, so basically our legs.
Some say he's also lighter without lower limbs and so potentially faster.
Well, that's the end of this list. In this lesson, you learned 50 words and phrases to help you better understand the news. Do you remember what they were? Not to worry, we've created a free downloadable PDF worksheet that you can access by clicking on the link in the description box down below. This way, you can extend your learning even further. I hope you enjoyed watching this lesson as much as I did teaching it. Most importantly, I hope you learned something you didn't know before. Make sure that you like this video and share it with a friend who's also learning English. And to keep learning with us, check out this next video. I know it, you know it, everybody knows it. Using Google Translate too much is a bad idea, right? Yet, a lot of English learners tell me that they still use it. Come to think of it, I use it too when I can't say something in Spanish. My question to you is, do you use it too?